How's it going, everyone? This is PC, and this is the wrestling recap crap for Night 2 of SummerSlam 2025. And I believe that Night 2 definitely delivered more than Night 1 did. And we're going to go through each of the matches, and I'm going to give my thoughts on the matches, and then I'm going to give a rating. So here we go. Starting Night 2 off with a bang, as we have the Women's World Champion Naomi facing off against Rhea Ripley and Io Sky in a triple threat match for the Women's World Championship. Naomi entered MetLife Stadium as the reigning women's champion, having cashed in her Money in the Bank contract at Evolution last month. In this rematch, Naomi leaned fully into her cunning heel persona. Early on, she tried to avoid direct conflict, letting Ripley and Sky wear each other down, but her strategy didn't last long. After a stiff boot from Ripley to Sky, Naomi pounced and took control, even biting Ripley's finger in a moment of wild aggression. The match was a whirlwind of moment shifts. You had Ripley showcasing her power with a razor's edge and powerbomb combo on Sky. Sky dazzled with an aerial offense, including a springboard moonsault that wiped out both her opponents outside the ring. Naomi, though, broke up multiple pin attempts, staying just slippery enough to avoid major damage. The climax came when Ripley hit Sky with a devastating avalanche riptide, seemingly sealing the win, but Naomi slid back into the ring and rode Ripley up with a handful of tights to steal the victory and retain her title. My rating for this match is a 3.5 out of 5 stars. This was a solid way to kick off the show. While I found the finish to be clever and it does fit with Naomi's character, yet I feel like Ripley losing another big match like this is starting to wear thin. She's too good to keep getting shortchanged in these moments, and it's hurting her credibility. So hopefully they can move on to other talent on the roster to go after Naomi, and we can hopefully eventually see a match between Naomi and Rhea later down the road. Our next match was the WWE Tag Team Championship TLC match with 6 teams. You had Wyatt 6 versus DIY versus Street Profits versus Motor City Machine Guns versus Fraxium versus Andrade and Rey Fenix. With the 25th anniversary of the first ever TLC match looming large, WWE leaned into nostalgia while pushing the envelope with modern chaos. Some of the standout spots and moments: you had Ford launching himself over the turnbuckle to the outside, crashing through a table in a jaw-dropping moment that had the crowd roaring. Gargano and Ciampa recreated a TLC 2 homage, diving off a ladder through 4 stacked tables, echoing the iconic Hardy and Bubba Ray spot from WrestleMania 17. It was brutal, nostalgic, and beautifully reckless. Andrade and Rey Fenix executed a top rope Spanish fly to the outside, smashing through a table. Candice LeRae tried to grab the title belts, but she was quickly knocked off the ladder, crashing onto another ladder below. Which, God, I could not imagine taking a bump like that. Then you had Andrade delivering a sunset flip powerbomb to Uncle Howdy, who had interfered alongside Eric Rowan and Nikki Cross. So yeah, there was a lot of interferences in this match. In the final moments, Joe Gacy snatched the belts while Loomis fended off Andrade, and the Wyatt 6 are still your tag team champions. My rating for this match is going to be a 4.0 out of 5. Lots of crazy stuff, but it was just a damn entertaining car crash, and it's exactly what a multi-team TLC match should be. And it's great that WWE is paying homage to the classic TLC, and hopefully we see more story progression with the Wyatt 6 moving forward, because the Wyatt 6 faction is starting to become stale and they need something else to do besides just tag team matches. We need a good storyline. The next match we have is the Women's Intercontinental Championship match with Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyrie. The stipulation being that this is a no disqualification, no countout match, and if Valkyrie loses, then she can never challenge for the title again while Lynch is champion. Weapons were used with brutal creativity. You had kendo sticks, chairs, a toolbox, and even a wrench came into play. So sort of going back to the Hell in the Cell match between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, where they also had a toolbox. So it's a nice little nod to that. Lynch used the zip ties on Valkyrie's hands together mid-match, delivering a vicious beatdown, which included a toolbox shot to the face. That fucking had to hurt. Valkyrie's resilience was on full display. She even hit a no-hand moonsault while restrained. The turning point came when Bayley interfered, seemingly torn between her past alliances. Lynch tried to manipulate her into attacking Valkyrie with a crowbar, but Bayley's hesitation led to a misfire. Her chain-loaded punch accidentally struck Valkyrie, and Lynch capitalized immediately, hitting the manhandle slam for the win, and she retains the title, which means that Valkyrie cannot challenge the title as long as Lynch holds it. My final rating for this match is a 4.5 out of 5 stars. This match was straight up chaos in the best way. Yeah, the accidental interference finish is a bit played out, but it worked here. It sets up Lynch versus Bayley, and Lyra's out of the title picture as long as Becky's champ, which adds real stakes. And this was one of the best matches of the night. Great storytelling, emotional depth, and full of character. Our next match was the United States Championship Steel Cage match, Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu. From the opening bell, Solo and Jacob delivering stiff, punishing brawling. The cage was used effectively, with both men grinding each other into the steel and trading heavy strikes, including a thunderous Samoan spike, which Jacob was able to kick out from. And then they had the interference, which is one of the biggest issues I have with Solo. And I get it that he's a heel. I get that. But what's the point of having a steel cage if there's going to be interference anyways? It's like there's no purpose to this. So the crowd was electric when Jacob finally broke free and dragged Solo back into the ring, refusing to let the interference dictate the outcome, yet unfortunately the interference did dictate the outcome. Jimmy Uso tried to even the odds but was quickly neutralized. The finish came when Tala Tonga kicked the cage door into Fatu's head, allowing Solo to crawl out and retain the title. I'm going to be rating this match a 2.5 out of 5 stars. The match had flashes of greatness, but the recycled interference finish dulled its impact. And while people popped when Jacob did a moonsault off the top of the cage onto the MFTs, it felt like a consolation prize rather than a payoff. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm kind of getting sick and tired of the Bloodline storyline, and I just wish it would just stop. Just stop. Let's move on. Our second to last match of SummerSlam Night 2, we have the Intercontinental Championship match with Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles, whose entrance is the highlight of this match. Styles came to the ring riding in a hydraulic-equipped lowrider, a direct homage to the late, great Eddie Guerrero, with his son Avery riding shotgun. His gear matched Guerrero's iconic SummerSlam 2005 look, the same event where Eddie faced Rey Mysterio in a ladder match for custody of Dominic. It was a layered, emotional callback that set the tone for the match. There was a lot of technical wrestling and character-driven antics. Dominic leaning hard into that Eddie Guerrero playbook, executing a phantom chair shot spot where he tosses a chair to Styles and collapse, feigning injury. And Styles, ever the veteran, countered by wrapping the chair around his own neck and flopping to the mat, which, in all honesty, that was hilarious. Styles works on Dominic's ankle throughout, setting up for the calf crusher. In a brilliant callback to Guerrero vs. Angle at WrestleMania 20, Dominic had pre-loosened his boots. When Styles locks in the submission, the boot slips off, breaking the hold, and Dominic then uses the boot as a weapon, smacking Styles in the head before hitting a crisp frog splash for the win. I give this match a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Dominic Mysterio just keeps getting better and better, and his character work is just insane levels of great. And this was one of those matches where the finish didn't need to be clean to be satisfying. It needed to be right, and Dominic's boot trick was exactly that. And if Styles is in fact winding down his career, this was a poetic way to pass the torch, not to a better wrestler, but to a better villain. Now we have our main event. For the undisputed WWE Championship, it is John Cena versus Cody Rhodes in a street fight. For the past couple months, John Cena was built as this heel, and yeah, the heel run, I won't lie, it was the shits. I'm sorry. Like, initially, I was all for it. I was all for Cena turning heel. But then you had that build-up, and then you had the match at WrestleMania, and I just soured to it because it was awful. It was just awful. And Cena's heel run just felt lacking. And keep in mind, we only have a few months left with John Cena. So I knew that they were going to turn Cena face. It was only a matter of time. And we got that 2 nights before SummerSlam on SmackDown, where Cena basically turned babyface all of a sudden. And going into this match, you were expecting this to be a ruse, and John Cena is going to somehow come out of this with the title. But believe it or not, the fans' reactions in this match is the highlight. From John Cena's entrance, the crowd was really behind Cena. They were cheering Cena. And then when Cody Rhodes came out, the crowd pretty much turned on him. And he was getting a lot of boos during his entrance. So I thought that somehow this was going to lead to a double turn, because that's what I was feeling. But nevertheless, the match opens up with them shaking hands and then immediately brawling. Then you see Cena using the crutches and steel steps and a microphone on Cody. Cody then wedges a chair in the corner, but Cena manages to reverse and send him headfirst into it. Then you had Cena hit a Code Red and a Canadian Destroyer, which was fucking amazing to see Cena actually pull off those moves. Triple A through the Spanish announce table. Cody hits a disaster kick, Cody Cutter, and a banned pile driver. 2 massive boos. So yeah, getting a lot of heel heat here. They brawl into the crowd under the stage, and then Cena emerges from the elevator that Cody uses in his entrance with Rhodes on his shoulder, and he delivers a devastating AA on the ramp. Cena carries Cody's lifeless body back to the ring, but Cody revives and drove Cena through a table. So a lot of false finishes, a lot of kickouts on finishes. Cody unhooks the bottom rope and uses the steel turnbuckle bar to batter Cena. Cena reverses and locks in an STFU using the ring rope, choking Cody. Cody counters with a rope-assisted sleeper hold, which, again, another heel type move. And of course, the crowd is just booing him. And then you have Cody hitting 3 crossroads, which of course is what he used on Roman Reigns to win the title at WrestleMania 40. Of course, Cena kicks out and people are chanting for Super Cena. Like, oh my God, we're living in Bizarro world with the crowd reaction. Like, that's what made this match so much fun. And then Cena hits 2 AAs and then an avalanche AA, and Cody kicks out, and the crowd is going crazy. Cena sets up a table for another avalanche AA, but Cody reverses it into a massive avalanche Cody Cutter through the table. Cena quickly rises on his feet. Cody salutes Cena and then hits him with 1 final crossroads, and he gets the pin and regains the WWE Undisputed Championship for the 2nd time. Of course, Cena gets up, tells Cody that was the best I have, and he hands him the title. Cody's hands is raised by Cena. He leaves the ring to Cena while the crowd erupts with "Thank you, Cena" chants as Cena just soaks in the moment. I am giving this match a 5 out of 5 stars. This was a masterclass in storytelling, brutality, and emotional nuance. Cena gave everything: his body, his legacy, his heart. Rhodes proved he's not just the future, but the present. The elevator AA was a cinematic moment for the ages, and the crowd's rejection of Cody just adds a layer of complexity that WWE rarely captures so organically. And speaking of organic moments, I have to talk about this. As Cena stood alone in the ring, Brock Lesnar's music hits, the arena goes ecstatic. Lesnar storms into the ring, hits a brutal F5, laying out Cena to close the show. So, I might as well bring this up, but a lot of people are not excited about Brock Lesnar coming back. One of the biggest reasons being that Brock Lesnar's name was reportedly linked to the Janelle Grant lawsuit involving Vince McMahon, which included disturbing allegations. And yes, they are allegations, but you gotta look at it like this. If WWE is wanting to move forward, why bring back someone tied to the darkest chapter of its recent history? Why bring back someone who is only going to bring bad publicity to the company? And let's say if these allegations are not true about Brock Lesnar, what are you going to do with him? And I'm sure a lot of us don't mind the fact that Brock is going to face John Cena as part of Cena's retirement tour, but what are you going to do with him afterwards? Are you going to put him in the title picture? Are you going to have him win the title and then take off for months? Repeat the same formula that's been done to death? It's like, come on. What other reason do you have to bring Brock Lesnar back to the company? Like, I want to see WWE build new stars. I want them to put their stars out there. You don't need part-timers like Brock Lesnar coming in and taking a spot that a young talent deserves. But nevertheless, only time will tell. And unfortunately, we have to wait and see what WWE has in store. But nevertheless, that concludes my SummerSlam coverage. Overall, I thought that Night 2 definitely delivered more than Night 1. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, and let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you want to see me cover more pay-per-views, hell, I'll even go back and revisit some pay-per-views if you guys want to see and hear my honest thoughts on those pay-per-views. Let me know in the comment section below. This has been PC signing out, and I will see you guys in the next video.